Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Fuego here.
And we are here for yet another January horror review. There's going to be 5 of these total for January 2020 from us.
Indeed, and this is one that lived up a little bit more to the expectations that we kind of...
Wait, this one did live up to expectations, you're saying?
Yeah, as far as bad ones.
Oh, I see. This one lived up to the January hype of it all.
Yes, indeed. January hype.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fuego's right, guys. We're talking about The Turning, and I didn't even know that this was what it is, which Fuego will explain in just a minute.
Yeah.
What this movie actually was. But I will say what this movie was for me, and that was boring. It was so slow, and every scare was something that we'd seen done before. Fuego's trying to remember names. Everything that we've seen, everything that we see in this that's meant to be scares is everything that we've seen done better in any given Insidious movie, or any well done supernatural movie nowadays. This movie tries to do the same stuff, but just not as well, except the ghosts are more wispy than before. And I thought that this movie, I thought I heard Fuego, because I asked Fuego how long is this? I whispered to him as the movie was about to start, and I thought I heard him say 130 minutes. And by the hour and 15 minute mark, I looked at my watch, my phone, and we had an hour left based on that timing, and I was like, oh God, no. But luckily he had said an hour and 39 minutes, and so that was at least, not as much of torture. But there was a lot to not like about this movie, but suffice it to say that I did not like this movie.
Alright, so as far as a story that has been adapted numerous times, we're talking over the course of not only 100 years, but 120 years, 1898, Henry James, and we have seen it even implemented in the stuff that was not direct adaptations like the others. So this was not exactly what I was hoping that it would be, with somebody like Mackenzie Davis, and in turn even Finn Wolfhard along with the cast. Ambient, sure. But a new turn on a previous story that we love, not so much.
All right, so let's get into the story of it, because I know you're itching to talk about this story of it.
I have been this whole damn time.
So go ahead, tell them what the story is.
Yeah, the story is about the fact that we have Mackenzie Davis, and she was one of the best parts about the Dark Fate Terminator film, and she is in this doing her own thing, summoned into a just rich, very storied house where she is gonna be watching over these children, and one of which she is aware of, the other of which shows up later on, and that is Finn Wolfhard. And the other one, I think, is from the Orphan film, if I'm not mistaken. And both of them start to just turn upon her. She's trying to endear herself. It's not really transpiring very well. And she's really there at the behest of everybody that she loves, whether it's best friend who she used to live with, whether it's person who has cared over the house for many years at that particular point. She's being just derailed at every turn, and she still wants to continue on and soldier on in the midst of everything, including lots of dark, scary forces. So
so she's basically brought on to watch over this little girl, and as she is trying to do so, another child that's supposed to be off at boarding school shows up in Finn Wolfhard, and things start to go a little bit weird, and we don't know if it's because Finn Wolfhard is out there and a little bit nuts, or if it's a supernatural force, although it's obviously leaned heavily towards the supernatural in the trailer, and that is indeed what it is in the movie. So there's kind of a mixture of it. So that's the long and short of the story, and as deep, or as shallow, as not deep as that really is, that's all you're gonna get, and it is not enough to justify even the length that we got. Even an hour and 39 minutes was too long for the sparse story that we got in this.
Very much
Like,
so.
it felt like this would have been maybe Act 1 and 2 of a Conjuring movie that's now been stretched into 3 acts. And it's just not that interesting. The pacing is thrown completely off. And there's there's not even a way for you to really start to like any of the characters except for the little girl. Like, the little girl's cute and stuff, and you start to like her, but everyone else, like, they don't even bother, and so you don't end up caring about them because you don't really like them that much. So it kind of handicaps the film the way the story is set up, and I did not like how it played out either. So were you satisfied with how the story went?
No, I wasn't, and I think the biggest problem, man, and just to kind of jump back to what I was wanting too much to talk about, and man, reeled me in, because I was just like jonesing about it, is the fact that so Henry James' story is also being adapted by none other than Mike Flanagan, and that is what, after they said no, there's not going to be a second season of Haunting of Hill House. Yes, there is going to be a second season. Mike Flanagan is producing it. He's only directing a few episodes, but they are basing it on the same novel, the same year. And so the Deep Impact Armageddon aspect, I mean, all these other times where Hollywood is working on similar things at the same time, we're going to get that this year because of the fact that this film came out and has already been reviewed by us, obviously, and it's also going to be the main basis for The Haunting of Blythe Manor, which is coming to Netflix later this year. So
No one's gonna know. No, there's
You
gonna
don't
be
think
so
so?
few people. Did you
Yeah.
see how many people were in the theater for the
Oh
7
yeah,
o'clock
yeah,
show?
yeah. It was a
I think there
scant
was
aspect.
7 people outside of us.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna. The people that go to see this movie are gonna know, but everyone else, and maybe even not.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's gonna hurt the Netflix property at all in any way, shape,
I'm
or
just,
form.
I
but-
get what you're saying, that they're both based on the same story, but I don't think it's quite the same as like your Armageddon and Deep Impact, which are literally
because
2
they're
hour
coming
movies.
on-
Because
yeah,
one
because
is a
they're
more,
coming on like different outlets.
well,
so
not
to
just
speak.
different outlets, but one is a decompressed, I'm guessing 10 episode story. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess Blythe Manor is also. Well, I mean, this is a novella. The source material is very scant.
I understand,
very
but you're
small.
comparing an hour and a half long movie versus a 10 episode
Yeah.
series,
Well-
so it's
it's
not
like-
quite the same because there's bound to be some differences. But I do get what that it's based on the same story.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
in that
one
sense,
is,
yes.
Yeah, one is directed at the source material, and then another one is like trying to expand upon it and make it something bigger and different, kind of like what Flanagan did. And I'm stoked to see that. He's writing, producing, not directing every episode, unfortunately. But yeah, as far as story of a just nanny, like caretaker, so to speak, coming in and trying to figure out what is up with these kids who are here and just
It's a very tropey
scarred
setup to
and
start,
everything.
yeah.
It is, yeah. But a story like this is maybe one of the ones that set in place those just precepts and things that people have continued to adapt since on. So yeah.
So let's get into the acting. Maybe 5 actors total in this. No, 6. But it's it's Mackenzie Davis, and I didn't even until you mentioned it. Forgive me. A second ago, I didn't even realize that it was the girl from the Terminator, because the hair and everything. But nonetheless, I think she did a good job for what she had to do. She
I
was
did too.
very.
Yeah.
She had a lot of the same struck silent face that Emily Blunt does in A Quiet Place.
Okay.
There's a lot of that same kind of acting going
Just as
on in
awful.
this. But I thought the little girl, what was her name? Flora, in the movie, I think.
Possibly.
Yeah. Anyway, something like that. It started with an F, ended with an A, and was flowery. So I'm guessing Flora.
Yeah, and she was from Orphan, right? If I recall correctly. The
Orphan? Like, not as the little girl, because that wouldn't make sense. Because
I think-
she's way younger in this than she would be. Because that movie is like 10 years old.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I can't be the same girl.
I'm just failing on all bases tonight, guys.
No, I'm just saying Orphan's like a 10-year-old movie, and that was already, I can't be the same girl because she was way
She
younger in
definitely
this.
looks super familiar.
She could look, she looks very familiar. I'm not sure what she's from though, but And then the older lady that's already working at the house, she played her part pretty well, I
Very
thought.
much so.
But
Yeah.
again, a tropey part that we've seen before.
Countless times.
Yeah. So, ultimately the acting can't save a story that, we've seen dozens and dozens of times and done better many of those times. You know what I mean?
And I felt like Finn Wolfhard was overdoing it, man.
That's what I was waiting for you to pick up. Jump in on.
I really felt like he was just given the chance to just be like, oh, I'm playing an evil character finally, so I'm gonna be evil. And it just felt like he was like, I'm evil now. And it just didn't. It wasn't convincing.
Some people may agree with me on this, and some may not. But I personally think that Macaulay Culkin's turn in The Good Son was a truly disturbing turn. This was not that.
Him and Frodo, what's his name? Elijah Wood.
Elijah
right?
Wood,
Yeah,
that one,
great
yeah.
movie actually, man.
And he was really actually disturbing in that. This
Younger, obviously.
Yeah, just a little bit though, not by much at this time.
Maybe 3-4
Finn
years
just
at
seems
that.
bigger at this point, but yeah, Finn. It was just a lot of this, like a lot of blank staring with mouth agape.
Yeah. And a lot of that ties into the fact that we didn't mention this movie takes place right after Kurt Cobain has killed himself. So it's like late 1994, early 95.
Why though? Like why?
And so just the fascination with that, and
yeah,
that's
he's
apparently
obsessed with Kurt Cobain and grunge music, I guess, because he's playing a guitar, an electric guitar, and playing the drums at one point.
Yeah, I was gonna go. Shit, man. Read Preacher and see what Arseface does to himself, who is a fellow, worshiper of. Sorry.
But no, but I mean, what's
of
the
Cobain,
point though?
yeah,
Why have any of that?
It was
in there?
unnecessary. Yeah, it was.
I didn't see any correlation, and let's move on from there. Obviously, the acting was serviceable, but Finn was just lackluster because he was wooden and just kind of lame, being the evil kid in this one.
Well, and I kind of say he was probably poorly directed, man.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah,
I
think that must be it, because he's a talented actor. We know that from Stranger Things.
Yeah,
but yeah, this was not. Yeah, he wasn't directed right in this. I think you're right on that. Let's jump into the cinematography, which I think the pictures were pretty. Yeah, pictures were pretty.
Really great. Yeah.
But that's about all you can say about that. I mean, it wasn't innovative. It wasn't really, even the cinematography wasn't doing anything that we hadn't seen before, but it was pretty.
Yeah, it was actually doing things we saw the night before in the Richard Stanley film, where it was like a beautifully illuminated, like mansion-y looking like property, and that's really about it.
Another correlation, actually, there was an actress in common as well.
Yes,
in both
as you
movies.
mentioned to me, and then I had to like take a look at her for a second. I was just like, oh yeah, who was her?
The main wife from Nip Tuck was also in this movie, just like she was in The Color Out of Space.
Yes, Color Out of Space. Y'all check that out.
Yeah, let's we'll get derailed talking about how good that one was compared to this. But sound and music, I didn't notice the music. Whereas in contrast, once again, Color Out of Space, the music stuck itself out and placed itself in my ear and never wanted to leave. And this was just, I couldn't even tell you if there was music, quite honestly.
There was a couple of stuff that, like, Finn's character was, like, playing as
that,
he was, like, hanging around, but yeah, there was nothing...
ambient, score.
It was nothing distinguishable in that regard, and then the score wasn't something that was just, like, it stuck with me. Ironically enough, two films that we have seen this year, Underwater and Color Out of Space, their scores have stuck with me, and the more mainstream horror that actually had money behind it, which was The Grudge and this one,
more generic.
Donuts.
Way more generic.
I didn't do that for very long.
And sound design in this, I thought, was just kind of weak too.
Yeah,
it was just pretty basic.
Ranky-danky.
Yeah, like it was minimalistic compared to a lot of the cool sound building and stuff. Like this was just the occasional click over there, the occasional bip or bop over here, and not really building on the actual design of the way the sound is set up in movies nowadays, the way a lot of horror movies smartly do. Yeah. This one was just like, yeah, we'll throw a thing there, boom, 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 we're done.
Yeah. It's so sad when you see a January horror film epitomize the
it's a January
stereotypes
horror film,
of the genre, man. It's just so frustrating.
Now, one thing that we absolutely have to talk about, and we're not going to spoil it, but let's talk about how bad the end was.
The end is
okay, the 5 minutes prior to the end does something where you're like, wait, it's this kind of thing?
Yeah. And
Oh, wait, how much more time do we have?
And you're intrigued, and that's
You're
where you
kind of
thought the
intrigued.
runtime was.
And then I was like, oh no. Because I was like, I'm not invested enough to restart from this point. And then like something happens, and then the movie's over.
And then no, and then.
And it's like, yeah, and then
Pretty
no, and
much.
then. And
No,
it's
and
like,
then.
no, the movie's done. Like, and so jarring is it that they don't even bother cutting to black. Like, something happens, they cut to another shot of like a hand moving across objects and stuff,
Which
and then
he's-
credits start to roll, and
Yeah.
you're like, I literally out loud was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and-
he even leaned over to me, and we were just like, okay, this is the extent of the post credits, and this is not a spoiler necessarily. I mean, if you're going to see a hand in post credits,
we were the last two in the theater going like, there has to be something after this, right,
Come
to
on.
wrap it up.
You can't do this.
And
to
then
us.
it started to go to different points from the movie and put those pictures up, and I'm like, oh, there's not going to be anything
Yeah.
else? Oh my god.
And that's
the most abrupt, terrible ending to a movie I've seen in a long time.
yeah, more than a year, not just in 2020, because 2020 is very new. Everybody,
I can't remember a movie in 2019 that had that
Me
as abrupt or terrible of an ending.
No, not at all.
Oh my god, this was just bad, you guys. This movie was just bad.
Yeah.
Avoid the turning at all costs.
It felt like an unloading film. It felt like the January epitome of just something you don't want to see or market well. And yet, I think Mackenzie Davis is awesome. So
she's okay, but again, it was a lot of
not like awesome in this movie, but
silence.
she's been awesome in so many other things.
Yeah, there's a lot of stunned silence in this.
Yeah, not much you can do.
No,
And-
this movie didn't do anyone any favors.
Yeah,
I'll
and
be honest
Finn,
with
you're gonna make all your money on Ghostbusters this year, not on this.
Not on this. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a lost leader for Finn.
Indeed. Lost leader.
All right, guys. So if you managed to waste your money and go watch this, let us know what you thought in those comments down below. Try not to spoil anything. This movie's frankly not even worth doing a spoiler section or review, so we're instead on Sunday going to focus on doing our spoiler review of Color Out of Space.
Yeah, talk about
That's
a short
worth talking
story.
about more.
Yeah.
This is not worth talking about more, so it's not worth your time. If you really want to watch it, wait until you can watch it for free on one of your streaming services you're already paying for.
Yeah, it was amusing though, because as we were walking out, they had reps from the studio there, and you always know when you have reps from the studio when there was no press screening, and
press
they're
screening.
asking for thoughts
Asking
when
for thoughts at
people
the 7
who
p.m.
paid to go to see it. And I mean, yeah, we went with our AMC A list, but
Yeah, I didn't
it's fine.
technically pay for it,
Yeah,
but
me neither.
she was like, do you guys want to give your thoughts on the film? I was like, I think it's probably better that we don't.
And she was just like, ooh.
Yeah, everyone
my
around was
job
like,
sucks.
ooh. And as we walked away, another
that
dude,
guy was like,
another
yo,
dude
yo,
that
what
had
happened?
taken one of their little tablets was like, yeah, what happened? What was
He
that
had no
ending?
idea.
We were like, that's what we got. That was just one of the problems. So there you go, guys.
You
That's
missed
gonna
it.
do it for our discussion on 2020's The Turning. And yeah, this and The Grudge are very January horror, unfortunately.
God damn it.
So, yeah, let us know your thoughts in those comments down below. While you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Ding that notification bell if you want to make sure you don't miss reviews going forward. We have a lot coming up. Sunday, we're going to do a little unboxing of that Audrey 2 back there, so you'll see all the little details of it. I've been sitting on that unboxing for months. Then also, we've got, I think I might make next week a week full of reviews of 2019 movies that we just haven't popped up yet.
Yeah.
So maybe Sweetheart, Headhunter.
I think Sweetheart's up already.
Did I put it up? Oh yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, totally did.
Maybe. Are you sure?
Totally did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's like 4 or 5 others,
No.
so we'll see.
Yeah, we have lots of
I
fodder
didn't
that
mean
we
to.
are
If
still...
I did, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, we have lots of fodder we are still trying to like wade our way through, and yes.
Oh well, look, you can't
Yeah.
be 100% all the time. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird,
Gracias, Jaime, and Fuego.
and remember, stay scared.